Hello everyone, welcome back to Chemistry CC for you. As promised, today here we are with the CUSET Part A discussion. So we are going to say you what is usually being asked in this part and what we are going to expect in this examination and how we are going to approach these questions in the exam. Okay, so let's begin. So basically, we have four different types of questions in part A. One is from English, then from general awareness, mathematics, and logic. We can say that this logic part and the mathematics part almost coincides because similar type of questions are being asked, except a few types. So we cannot differentiate these much. Mostly, you can solve many of the logic questions also with mathematics itself. Then from English part, we have various different types of questions. Uh, I mean various type of questions. So in English and in general awareness also, we are having different patterns of questions in the general awareness. Now what we are going to do is we'll be taking a look at each of these sections and what is usually being asked in all these sections one by one. So first in the English portion, the first type of question is preposition or grammar questions. So mostly what they give is they will give you a sentence and then they will be asking you to complete the blanks. And there will be very simple prepositions given there. Like we might have to fill in with, to, for, and prepositions like that. Or some very simple grammar questions will be asked. This is one type of English questions asked. Then the second one is that is the past tense, present tense, or future. How we are going to use it to complete the sentences. This is also a very important type of question, and these are usually asked in the very beginning of the question paper. Like the first and second questions usually will be either one of this type. Then the third type of question is synonym and antonym. And the fourth type of question is patterns in words or phrases and idioms. So let's go with one by one. So in synonym and antonym, what they try to ask you is synonym actually means we have to find a word in the given words which mean which has the meaning similar to what is given. Like if we are given a word intelligent and we have four options, then we have to find, if they are asking for a synonym, then we have to find a word which is having the same meaning as intelligent. And antonym means it's the opposite word. We have to find a word which means the opposite of the given word. So that is the synonym and antonym question, and that is a sure question in the CUSET part A. Then in pattern in words and phrases means usually they'll be asking, like they'll give you a phrase and ask you to give the meaning of this phrase. Or common phrases will be there, like caught red-handed and some phrases like that. Those type of phrases they may ask in the exam. Then patterns in words is due to some, there will be some relationship between two words. Two three words will be given, as paired words might be given, and you have to find one pair among the options given which have the same type of relationship. I have covered one such question in our previous video. Please do watch that question. All these type of questions were discussed in that video of ours. I'll give the description in the give the link in the description box below. So these are the four type of questions asked in English. So preposition and other type of grammar questions. Then there will be past, present, and future tense. Using that, we have to complete the sentence. Synonym and antonym, and patterns in words or phrase. Pattern in words, then phrases and idioms. These are the questions asked in the English part. Now let's go to the general awareness part. So in general awareness, we have current affairs, basic science, and general knowledge. So current affairs is actually not asked much. In one of the year when I have some years back when I was writing the CUSET examination, there was some question like who is the current uh, president of some organization or something like that. I don't remember it exactly, but some current affairs question, but that is having negligible chances of being asked in the exam. Sometimes only they ask that question. But basic science questions are really sure questions. Like basic science in the sense they'll ask very basic biology questions. For example, they can ask like about chlorophyll or about cooking gas, what are the chemical in Dettol, all those kinds of questions. Those are all basic sciences, and these kinds of questions are asked in general awareness. Or we can ask like deficiency of this vitamin causes what disease. These are all very general basic science questions. And general knowledge, I'm covering it in a vast sense, but they may ask about the situation, some organization is situated in which place, and these type of questions are very less in number, so you need not worry about that, one question or so. But basic science, there may be more than one question. We'll discuss about the number of questions in the coming portion. So these are the three types of question, but in this, what you have to give more importance is to the basic science questions, because that will be mostly asked. This general knowledge question and this current affairs question will be really easy. You might have the intuition in you should go with your intuitions for these answers, because those answers would be correct, what you're choosing. Then the third type of question is mathematics. In mathematics, the first type is basic algebraic equation. So it is not like they are giving you an algebraic equation and you have to solve for it. No, it's not like that. They'll give you some simple word problems, and you can make it into a simple algebraic equation and then solve for that. For example, they might give you like a number, the product. There are two numbers, the sum of these numbers is 10 greater than the product of these numbers. So what you do in this kind of situation, so there are two numbers, so you can take them as x and y. So the sum of these numbers means it is x plus y, and the product of these numbers is xy. And if the sum of the numbers is 5 more than the product, means x plus y, uh, x plus 5, I mean x plus y equal to xy plus 5. So we will be making an equation like this, and then we will be trying to solve the a problem. So these kinds of question, and even in some word problems can also be asked. So that is the basic algebraic equations. Then comes pattern, like they can give certain numbers, and then ask you to complete the number. This is something we have been doing in many of the scholarship examinations ever since first standard. So this is very simple question, and you can cover it up very quickly. Then the next type of question is probability. So they'll be saying that 1/3 of this was given to this student, and 2/3 was 1/4 was given to this one. So what fraction, what probability of this will belong to some other category. So this type of questions, I'm being very vague here, but the intention is to make you understand what type of questions are being asked there. So in maths, you have basic algebraic equation, pattern type questions, and probability. So even this probability can also be included in the this probability questions can also be included in the basic algebraic equation part, because this can be the probability questions can also be converted into very simple equations, and then you can cover that, you can find the answer. Next is the logic section. In the logic section, one type of question is the relationship questions. That is, the daughter of my cousin, and something like that. Someone's father is the other one's sister's son, and what is the relationship between these two? Those kinds of questions. So I'll be telling you how to solve these kinds of questions in the coming portion. So one type of such question is the relationship question. Then comes patterns. They can ask if this was uh, patterns, in the sense they will be giving you some uh, they can give you some words or letters. This is equal to a e x y. So what would be the code of this particular word? So patterns, those kinds of patterns will be asked. And finally, there will be clock questions or about year, like leap year. If this day of the leap year will be Sunday, then what will be this particular day of this month, or something like what is the if the minute hand and the hour hand make 90 degree, how many times will it be 90 degree? Those kinds of questions, these are all very logical questions, and usually you have very simple equations to cover this, and we will be discussing those equations and how to solve these questions. So these are the types of questions asked in all the 4 sections. So in English, you have grammar, tense, then synonym, antonym, and also the pattern in English. Then we have general awareness in the general part, basic science, then general awareness or general knowledge, okay, that those part, and then maths part, you have basic algebraic equation, probability, as well as certain maths patterns. In logic also you have some patterns, relationship type questions, and then this clock or year type questions. Then now let's see what are the types of questions, I mean number of questions from each of these sections that can be expected. So there are total 25 questions in this part, and what we actually expect is synonym. We usually, most probably, I have covered the last 3 years question paper to see how many questions we can expect from this. So we can expect 2 questions of synonyms and questions of antonyms. This is very sure. This is the least they are going to ask. So you can expect 4 questions from that part. Then we have phrases or idioms. They usually, there will be 1 to 2 questions, not more than that. Probably only 1 question. They don't stress more to this part. But the basic algebra question, that can be 3 to 4 and even 5. Okay. Basic algebra, I'm including all the types of questions like algebraic question, all those. It can be percentage question, like the 10 percentage of x is 25. So what is x? That kind of question. So that also comes in basic algebra. Or she had someone, Sheila sells this much of goods with a profit of 10%. So in the next day when she was trying to sell it for 20 rupees, she had this much amount of loss. So what was the initial price in which she sold the good? These kinds of questions can be, all these are basic algebra. I'll be doing many practice questions of this part, so you can be aware of what is being asked here. Then general science question, as I said, very basic chemistry or biology or any part, general science, any biology can be asked, even chemistry or physics they don't usually ask, but yeah, you can expect anything. So general science will be there 2 to 3 questions. Then general awareness and GK, as I said, those can be or cannot be asked. Even if they are asked, it will be maximum of 1 question, I think. I have written here 0 to 2, but you can expect 1 question only. In the logic part, you can expect minimum of 3 questions, 3 to 4. Then connection and patterns in English, there will be 1 to 3 questions most of the times. Then grammar part, you can expect a minimum of 3 to 4 questions. This consists of grammar. When I write grammar, this consists of all the three: this tense, and also the prepositions, conjunctions, everything. All the grammar part of English will be covered in this, the tense and everything. So that can be 3 to 4 questions. Then this probability question, we can include, as I said, we can include it in the basic algebra. It can be 0 to 2. If we add this, it can be 5 also here. Okay. So this would be the total mixture of the questions, and totally we'll be having 25 questions from this part. Now we understood that what is being asked and how many questions we are going to expect. The next question is how to learn for this part. Let's see. So to learn, first strategy is to prepare for this part near to the examination. That is, almost when the exam is near, try to prepare for this, because you don't have to waste much time for this part. And if you're very good in grammar and English, just go with the flow and not prepare much. This is my friendly suggestion. You may or may not take it, but I think if you're good in grammar, you need not spend much time for the preparation of this part A. You can get those answers on your own. Then, even if you are not really good in English, you can try to complete many of these sentences with your basic instincts. And by basic instinct, I mean, if they are giving a blank in the question, and you can try to pronounce or spell out all the try to fit in the options in the given sentences, and you can understand, since you all hear English all the time in videos or in movies or in books or in your lectures, you always hear this English. So you can always try to fit in the given options into the sentence, and you will understand naturally that this can be the answer here, or this cannot be answer. So this is kind of a gamble here. If you are not really good in English, this technique can be used. You can try to fit in the options in the given blank and go with your intuition. Okay. And also uh, like meanings and synonyms, antonyms, you can understand that again. Synonyms and antonyms may require a little practice. I can help you with that. Now the fourth thing is, take a look at common phrases and meanings. So you will have different types of common idioms and phrases, and you need to know about the meanings of this. That is one approach to prepare for this part. Then basic science would be really easy, since that will be really school level of 10th standard, below 10th standard level of questions, I feel, mostly. So the basic science part, you need not prepare much. Just try to memorize, I mean tries to recollect what you have learned when you see the question. You need not prepare much for that. And if you have an algebraic, if you have a maths question, what you have to do is try to form simple algebraic equation for all the maths question. Mostly all the questions will be solving for x and y, and you know that you have done so many complex questions in your school time, and even in your college time. So those will be really simple for you. If you form an equation, I can guarantee you can quickly solve and get the answer. Just so try to form simple algebraic equations for all the maths questions. Next is, if you have like the relationship type questions and all, or any other logic question, try to draw a quick flow chart. Like if you, they'll give multiple information in the question. So they can say x is the father of y. So you can draw a chart. So then you can usually understand what is the relationship between these two. So this kind of charts are um, usually recommended when you're dealing with the logic questions. And these are all the steps when you don't have much time for the preparation. And if you have preparation time for preparing for part A, I would suggest you to check for previous part A questions that is already being asked in the QCET examination, and come up with shortcuts and solutions for logic and maths questions that are frequently asked. See, you cannot repeat, you cannot expect the English questions to repeat, because there are lot of questions that can be asked in that section. But in maths and logic part, there will be a similar pattern of question that can be followed in the part A. So what you have to do is, if you have enough time, try to prepare from the previous question and come up with shortcuts and formulas to solve a particular type of question. Then next, I have seen that in the GATE exam, they have a general aptitude part. So that general aptitude part, the questions from that part is repeated in QCET exam. And even in many other general aptitude sections, this GATE exam questions are repeated. So if you can, I would suggest that, again, this is again, if you have time, you need not give so much time for this part. If you have the time, try to cover some GATE exam general aptitude questions. And also, this is a friendly suggestion for the exam. When you are attending the exam, attend this section for 15 to 20 minutes as possible in the examination. Don't go push it to 30 or 35 minutes, because you always need time to solve your physical chemistry questions and all in the chemistry section, that is the part B section. So try to allot 15 minutes. I suggest 15 minutes for this section, and try to attend as many questions as possible from this part. And finally, don't worry, we are going to make some basic grammar, English, mathematics and logic crash course very soon. So it would be really helpful if one of you could any one of you could inform me in the comment section about the date of this exam. So I have heard that all the exams are being postponed because of the situation now. So please do inform me when is the date of the exam, so that I can speed up the process of making the videos. So yes, these are the things I want to talk about part A. Many of you have requested, and see, this is not just for chemistry. This is for all the people who are preparing for QCET examination. Part A, this is the pattern they are following. I have given a really elaborate explanation of everything here. If you have any more doubt from this part, please do ask me in the comment section below. Please give a like to this video, and if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe the channel and suggest the channel for all your friends. Yeah, please keep preparing. And